Hello and welcome back to the video on the Football Zone and to a weekend review, reviewing this weekend's Premier League and Championship action. Let's get straight into it with the Premier League and starting off with the Saturday lunchtime game. Leicester 0, Manchester City 1. The only goal of the game coming in the 49th minute through Kevin De Bruyne and Man City. Leicester, to be fair to them, gave them a relatively decent game, but City always felt in control here. Leicester did pile the pressure late on, but City didn't held out and were fully justified in their win. Leicester, still not a bad result, putting more pressure on, which is best than we've seen at the start of the season. Moving on then to the 3 o'clock games, and Newcastle for Aston Villa 0 was the score at St James's Park. Really good win for Newcastle. Callum Wilson with 2, Joe Linton with 3rd, and Almiron with a lovely goal. He seems to be scoring some lovely goals at the moment. And Newcastle fully dominant here, not the Villa we saw in the previous 4-0 win involving them against Brentford. Far from that, and that'll be a concern. They just need to find some more consistency, really. But Newcastle actually flying at the moment. Moving on into Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0 at Selhurst Park. Edward with the only goal of the game in the 38th minute and wasn't a lot of opportunities really. Southampton poor in the first half, improved in the second half but couldn't find a breakthrough. They'll be disappointed with that, but Palace, their home form's really good. It's just the away form they need to sort out. But another big win for Palace and they're looking strong at the moment. But for Southampton, you feel like there's back performances that we saw earlier in the season. Bit of a concern for Hassan Hintel's side, not to follow up a great result against Arsenal with this. Moving on then to probably the shock result of the weekend, and of all the storylines around it as well. Brighton 4, Chelsea 1. Trossard and then 2 own goals from Loftus-Cheek and Chalobah. Havertz in the 48th minute gave Chelsea a glimmer of hope, but Gross in stoppage time ended it, and Brighton picked up a 4-1 win. What a nightmare for Graham Potter. De Zerbi, just an absolutely massive win. That will help get the fans on the side. But for Potter, absolute nightmare. His first game is defeating for Chelsea. Couldn't come at a worse time really, but you've got to love the pantomime. Moving on then to Brentford 1, Wolves 1 at the Brentford Community Stadium. Ben Mee with the opener in the 50th minute, but just 2 minutes later Neves scored in the 52nd minute. A game where there wasn't a lot separating the two sides. You'd probably say a draw was for a result. There was also a red card late on in Diego Costa in the 97th minute for a headbutt. Kind of common Diego Costa thing. I was saying he hasn't been sent off in Premier League before then, but there we go. I'd say a fair draw between these sides. Moving on then to Bournemouth 2, Tottenham 3 at the Vitality. A brilliant comeback from Bournemouth. Kiefer Moore with 2 goals gave Bournemouth a 2-0 lead before Sessegnon, Davies in the 92nd minute, Bentancur gave Tottenham the win, and it's no less than Tottenham deserve really. They were the best side here and got the win they deserved. For Bournemouth though, that's absolutely gutted, and Boeing a 2-0 lead at home to a Big Six club. You do wonder if that could play in their heads for the next few games really, but for Tottenham, that's an absolutely massive win. They'll be absolutely delighted with that. Moving on then to Fulham 0, Everton 0 at Craven Cottage. A game which I think Fulham will be disappointed not to win really. Everton defended relatively, to be fair, I think it's a game that Fulham, for me they were kind of in control of and will be disappointed not to win. I think that kind of speaks to how far Fulham have come. For Everton, an away point in the Premier League, it's never really a bad result, and I think that's the case here. They'll be pleased with that one and can take it on to the next games really. Moving on then to Liverpool 1, Leeds 2 at Anfield. Rodrigo, after a Joe Gomez howler in the 4th minute, gave Leeds a lead before Sarri equalised 10 minutes later, but Somerville in the 89th minute for Leeds gave them the victory. And Liverpool, they should have won this game. She has 10 shots and goal, should have been out of sight really, but Leeds, getting that unbelievable scenes at the end, and Liverpool, their crisis just continues and they just need to find some consistency desperately. But for Leeds, what result when they needed it. Arsenal 5, Forest 0 was the score on Sunday in the Premier League, and a really, really good result for Arsenal. They were kind of dominant throughout really. Goals from Martinelli, Nelson with brace off coming on for Saka. Hopefully he's not too badly injured, at least for the World Cup as well, and then Partey and Odegaard. Arsenal, really, really good win. Total domination station. Forest, bit of a shame. They couldn't follow up the win against Liverpool, but it's always going to be a tough one. Moving on then to Manchester United 1, West Ham 0 at Old Trafford, and Marcus Rashford, the only goal of the game in 38th minute, doing a good job to secure his England's call-up. And United, I thought it was a relatively competitive game, but United, I would say, just about did edge there, and another good win, heading on the right path under Ten Hag. For West Ham defeat, but I do think David Moyes will be relatively pleased. They are moving into the right direction, I would say, after quite a tough start to the season. So it's a game where both managers probably won't be too disappointed. It's definitely not Ten Hag anyway. But moving on then to Friday's championship game, and it finished Birmingham 1, Birmingham 2, QPR 0 at St Andrew. Trusty with a lovely goal on Emmanuel in the 29th minute, gave Birmingham the victory. QPR, probably did have more of the game, more of the ball, but Birmingham were clinical, finished off the chances, and what a big win that was for Birmingham. Really showing they can still do it against top sides, and John Eustace continues to do a great job here. For QPR, I think this is just a bit really. Moving on then to Bristol City 1, Swansea 1 on Saturday in Championship. Conway gave Bristol lead in the 24th minute, but Natcham in the 76th minute equalised for the Swans. A game which, as you'd expect from a Russell Martin side, really, the Swans dominated possession, but couldn't find a breakthrough, and Bristol City held on for a deserved point, I would say. But for Swansea, I do think they may be slightly frustrated they couldn't come away with the victory. Moving on then to West Brom 0, Sheffield United 2, at the Hawthorns, and Dyer McBurney with the 2 early goals, and that kind of settled out. After that, as West Brom kind of playing 2-0 football in a way, really, in the end, Sheffield United, I think, relatively comfortably dealt it out and picked up the victory. It just showed the state of the club that West Brom are in at the moment, just so struggling, sat at the top, and they shouldn't be in that situation. But for Sheffield United, with their recent struggles, that could be a big win for them. Moving on into Cardiff 1, Rotherham 0 at the Cardiff City Stadium, and Phil going by these for the only of the game. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. Cardiff were dominant here, totally deserving of the 3 points. Big win for them, really. Much needed, for Rotherham beginning to start to struggle, but for Cardiff, after a few tough games, like I say, it is a big win for them, and hopefully a bit of confidence booster. Moving on then to Wigan 0, Watford 1 at the DW Stadium, another big win for Watford, only got the game coming in the 87th minute, late on for João Pedro, like I say, a big win, dominates the game, deserving of the victory, and it is a big victory for them, continuing momentum from the victory last time out. Wigan, they are starting to sit down the league, and I think that will start to be a real concern for them currently, because it's a disappointing result. Moving on then to Preston 2, Middlesbrough 1 at Deepdale. Akpom gave Borough lead in the 7th minute before Reese and Story in the 91st minute gave Preston the 2 winners. Preston, they were deserving the victory here. Middlesbrough, once again, not great. Carrick, dream start for him, but except for that, it went downhill quickly, and I think it's just kind of showed how much work he has to do there already to turn it around, because at the moment they are really struggling. Moving on then to Norwich, and they picked up a big 3-1 win over Stoke. Really big win. Ramsey with a brace, and Sarah with a goal in the 77th minute. Nick Power in the 92nd minute scored a consolation goal, but for Norwich, big win after a tough run of form, and Dean Smith, hopefully that will ease some of the pressure on him. Big win, like I say, much needed, but Stoke starting to struggle again down the bottom after maybe a decent little run under Alex Neil. I think this will get Norwich going again now. Luton 1, Sunderland 1 was the score at Kenilworth Road. Morris in the 45th minute, first half stoppage time, gave Luton lead, but Embleton in the 78th minute equalised for Sunderland. A game there wasn't a lot between two sides. You'd have to say a draw was a fair result. Luton, I think they'll be disappointed with that, but Sunderland, late point, tough place to go there, they'll be relatively happy with that. Hopefully a bit of momentum for them to find some form now, but Luton disappointed to chuck that win away. Moving on then to Hull 0, Blackburn 1 at the KCOM. The only goal of the game coming in the 15th minute for his small stakes. Good win for Blackburn. Dominates the game, holding out the shot goal. Really poor performance from them, you'd have to say. But Blackburn dominated the win, and yet they got rid of that inconsistency, and now they're winning consistently, and that's a crucial thing for them. And now they're sitting really pretty towards the top of the league, you'd have to say. Them and Burnley have kind of got a comfortable advantage already. Moving on then to Huddersfield 1, Millwall 1 at the John Smith Stadium. What a huge win this was for Huddersfield. The only goal coming in the 90th minute, and yeah, they had to hold on, but they held on really well. Millwall just off there. Huddersfield, even after that goal, you'd say that Millwall had that Huddersfield had the advantage. So yeah, just a really big win for them, and they'll be absolutely delighted. But for Millwall, yeah, hopefully just an off day, because they've been so good recently, haven't they? Moving on then to Coventry 1, Blackpool 2 at the Coventry Building Society Arena. And yeah, Coventry took the lead in the 40th minute through Casey Palmer, but Gary Medina and Yates in the second half gave Burnley the win, and Blackpool the win, and yeah, a game with not much separated two sides. I would say Coventry midfield agrees they didn't at least get a point, but yeah, it is what it is. Very disappointed. But yeah, great win for Blackpool. Moving on then to Burnley 2, Reading 1 at Turf Moor. And yeah, Burnley went behind in the 56th minute when Tomin scored, but Benson equalised 10 minutes later, and Zauri in the 94th minute winner scored for Burnley. I saw Paul Ince wasn't happy with refereeing decision before that, and yeah, to be honest, I kind of do agree with him. But yeah, Reading may feel hard done by Burnley, just about deserving the victory, I'd say, but Reading gave themselves a good account of themselves, so they'll be disappointed not to win, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway guys, that's it really. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, rate, comments, and follow for daily football news, and subscribe to us on the screen. I greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.